And we welcome you back to the Washington Nationals Academy for Game 2 of 2 between the DC Grays and the Bethesda Big Train. The Big Train walked it off in 8 innings in Game 1, and these teams meet for the final time this regular season in the district. Alongside Adam Glover, I'm Eli Kleinman. Let's give you the Bethesda Big Train starting lineup, 17-6. Winners of their last 2, and the lineup brought to you by Sal Colangelo. Dean Twigo leads things off, the center fielder tonight. Lucas Phelps bats second and plays second base, and Jeffrey Hurd hits third. He's in left field. Jacob Orr moves from left field to designated hitter, but stays in the cleanup spot, and Jack Guerrero slides into the 5 spot and plays third base. Dixon Williams bats 6 and mans first. Connor Rasmussen plays shortstop, the Tulane product, bats 7th. Nick DeLisi, the catcher from ECU, bats 8th, and John Long hits 9th, the right fielder from North Carolina. And they face Alex Jankowski on the mound. The transfer from Radford to Gaston College has pitched in 3 games so far this summer. 4.00 ERA, has made 1 start, gone 9 innings total with 5 strikeouts. Well, as the sun begins to set on another gorgeous day with some showers scattered in between, Adam, we get set for Game 2.
Yeah, and all the momentum right now for the Big Train with an impressive walk-off victory, playing from behind pretty early on in that game, but the offense in that 8th inning waking up, and of course, they'll take it. A wild pitch that brings home the winning run. We were sitting there talking, okay, Ruffner, if he can get a fly ball, if he can get a base hit, this game is over. But you know what? A wild pitch will do the same thing, and that's what it did.
So Dean Twigo leads things off for the Big Train. Manning center field for the first time this summer. And Jankowski, the righty, matches him on the mound. From the stretch goes the right-hander. And he deals the first pitch. And Twigo takes outside with a fastball. Ball and no strikes. 8:01 first pitch from the Nationals Academy. 1-0. Twigo takes upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Big Train wearing the black uniforms with the gray pants, the black socks, and the black hats with the gray brims. 2-0. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. Twigo comes up empty. It's 2 balls and a strike. The Grays wearing their home uniforms, white uniforms with gray written across the chest, white pants, and navy blue hats. 2-1. Twigo swings and pops one up, foul down the third base side, and out of play. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jankowski in the gold cleats leans in. Works with his catcher Malice for the sign. He's ready. 2-2. Twigo lines one to the right side. Into a slide goes the second baseman, Mondo, towards center field. He pops to his feet. His throw is low in the dirt. It escapes past the first baseman, Bolden, by a couple feet, and Twigo is able to reach to begin the ball game.
And Twigo pulled up a little bit over there at first base, but it looked like he was going to beat that one out, even with the throw not being great. But for Dean, he'll take it. It erases the on-base percentage. We're just waiting on an official call on that one.
Runner at first with nobody out for Lucas Phelps. And the first pitch to him. He takes just upstairs, a ball and no strikes with a fastball. Phelps 0 for 4 in the leadoff spot in Game 1 today.
Yeah, I don't think it's cause for concern right now. Righties really struggled in that game.
A throw to first. Twigo dives back in safely and gets that right hand onto the outer part of the base. Has that runner's guard on that right hand. So he takes a 3-step lead off of first. 1-0. Phelps takes upstairs with a fastball again. 2 balls and no strikes. sun sets in left center field. Hangs behind the clouds that brought some thunderstorms earlier in the afternoon. 2-0. Phelps takes high again with the fastball. 3 balls and no strikes.
And that fastball just not working right now for Jankowski. That was the pitch that Twygo reached base on, and unfortunately for a lot of pitchers, that's that pitch that they go to when they're struggling. But unfortunately for him, he's struggling and that fastball is not helping.
3-0, and he paints one down the middle with a fastball. 3 balls and a strike. Phelps resets out of the box, takes a deep breath, and stands back in. One of the hottest hitters on this Big Train team. Had a home run 2 nights ago in the win over the Senators. 3-1, runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second. Twygo slides in safely. Gets that right foot in. Or do they call him out?
I think it might maybe be something with Phelps, because Phelps is talking to the home plate umpire. I don't know if I don't know if they called him out for, hitter interference, not getting out of the way, but we will see.
They called interference of some sort. Twygo heads back to first, and Phelps is called out. So it goes down as batter's interference for out number 1 of this ball game.
And that's tough. Obviously, we didn't get a good look at it. We're watching the ball go down to second base, but Dean Twygo had that one beat as well. So all of a sudden, you had a full count with Phelps and a runner at second, and now it's 1 out and a runner at first.
So Twygo takes his lead off again, and Jankowski throws over. Twygo dives in safely as Jeffrey Hurd stands to the plate. 3-hole hitter, tied for the league lead in home runs, leads the league in RBIs. First pitch to him, and he takes outside for a fastball. Ball and no strikes the count. An all-turf field here at the Nationals Academy. And with the rain, it is playing quite quick. Jankowski ready. 1-0. Hurd takes up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Fastball misses again for Jankowski. And already somebody's starting to warm up in that bullpen for DC. 2-0. Hurd pops one high and foul behind the plate, and it gets out of play over the seats. About 8 rows of seating behind home plate. It's 2 balls and a strike.
You can see Hurd kind of pulled his head a little bit there. We saw him swing at a 2-0 fastball against Southern Maryland and hit a home run. This time he fouls it off, but he's always ready to swing in that good hitter's count.
Another throw to first. This one closer, and Twygo just gets in before the tag of Bolden. Long hold for Jankowski on the mound. Shrugs his shoulders, deals a 2-1. Runner goes, fastball upstairs, throw down to second, and it is not in time. Twygo slides in under the tag and just hangs on to the base. This time he does get credit for a stolen base, and there's a runner in scoring position with 1 down.
Yeah, that throw from Malice behind home plate wasn't great, but Larson going from the usual shortstop position, fielding that ball, or receiving that ball rather, on the opposite side of the bag, applied a tag up near the head.
2-1 to Hurd, or 3-1, excuse me, and he takes outside ball 4. So a 1-out walk for Jeffrey Hurd puts runners at first and second for the Big Train, and Jacob Orr to the plate.
And this is good to see. The Big Train through the first 2 innings yesterday had 2 base runners on in each inning. Unfortunately, they weren't able to cash in. Now this time, we'll see what they can do here in a same situation as a game 1.
The righty Orr at the plate. The runner in scoring position, and the first pitch well upstairs, and Malice, the catcher, has to pop out of his squat and then extend as far to his left as possible to keep it from the backstop, and does so just barely. It's a ball and no strikes. Baseball almost behind the head of Jacob Orr. Look back to second, 1-0. High and tight with a fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. Orr 1 for 3 in game 1 earlier today. Did draw a walk as well. Twygo leads off second, Hurt off of first. The 2-0 pitch to Orr is inside with another fastball. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Jankowski in danger of walking his second batter this inning. (3-0). Well up and inside. It's ball 4. And Orr draws the walk to put runners all around. Bases loaded and only 1 out. And a meeting on the mound for DC.
Yeah, the command right now just not there for Jankowski. That fastball, we talked about it earlier, it's really missing up. That's the issue right now. He's got to be able to lower that. He's kind of got the corners. You see it sometimes missing up and in, which is obviously what you're going to try to do if you're facing a right-handed hitter and you're throwing a fastball. Try to hit that inside corner. But Jankowski right now, just nothing going his way so far when it comes to command.
Well, the right-hander has only issued 3 walks all summer in 9 innings, and in 1/3 of an inning, he already has 2. The bases are loaded for Jack Guerrero. Big Train trying to strike first after trailing 2-0 in game 1. The tall lefty who did not play in that first game at the plate. First pitch to him, and he takes high and away with the fastball, a ball and no strikes, and that pitch missing in the exact same spot to both righties and lefties.
He's just overthrowing it right now, and if you're the Big Train, just stay patient at the plate because he's not giving you competitive pitches right now.
1-0. Guerrero swings, ropes one down the right field line. It's a fair ball into the corner. In to score Twygo. Hurd right behind him. A dive into second. The throw. They got Guerrero. The throw from Zippe was there in time. As they say, he slid over the base. So 2 runs come across, but 1 runner is thrown out and erased. And it's a runner at third with 2 down for the Big Train.
Well, that's now twice we've seen a runner overslide the base. Jeffrey Hurd did it in game 1 on a stolen base attempt. So just unfortunate, but awesome seeing the Big Train offense, be alive and awake right now.
As the first pitch to Dixon Williams misses outside, a ball and no strikes.
Same pitch there, the fastball too high and outside. It's just that part of the zone. Outside corner for lefties, inside corner for righties. Jankowski can't locate.
1-0, swing and a miss. Takes something off, and it's a ball and a strike with Jacob Orr at third. 2-0 Big Train in the top of the first. Jankowski set on the mound. Wheels a 1-0, or a 1-1. And he paints it in for a strike on the outside corner, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Williams. Williams had 2 hits in game 1 today, including the first run of the game. 1-2. Takes low and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And really did it himself. Singled to get a board, stole second, then stole third, and the throw from the catcher Goff went into left field, and it allowed him to come all the way around to score. With 2 outs, the 2-2. Well up and away with the breaking ball, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And Williams had a stellar game 1, and you'd like to see him reach here and just keep the line moving. And you want to see the Big Train try to pull away early in this game instead of having to come back like they did in game 1.
Had to win it in extras. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Williams strikes out, and the inning comes to an end. but the Big Train score 2 on a 2 RBI knock from Jack Guerrero. We head to the bottom of the first. It's the Grays coming to bat. And we welcome you back to the Washington Nationals Academy in Washington, D.C. for Game 2 of 2. It's 2-0 Big Train as we head to the bottom of the first. Let's give you the D.C. Grays starting lineup. 9-17 the record, losers of 1. It starts with Derek Wood at the top. The George Mason product plays left field. Connor Larson bats second, and Evan Bolden hits third. Parker Goff in the cleanup spot, the designated hitter, an all-star from BYU. Miles Sargent bats fifth. Henry Zippe, the right fielder from Omaha, their second all-star in the lineup, bats sixth. And then it's Michael Malice, the catcher from Lafayette College. Braden Mondo, who heads to BYU this year, plays second base, and Justin Greck, the Lafayette College center fielder, rounds things out. And on the mound, they will face the right-hander from Ole Miss in Patrick Galley, guy who has a fastball that can touch mid to high 90s and has been the ace for this Big Train team all summer long. He is an all-star and will be in only tomorrow for the all-star game. A 1.55 ERA in 5 starts so far. 21 strikeouts in just 17 1/3 innings.
Yeah, if you look at those last 2 starts for him, unfortunately his rhythm has really been messed with. The first one, of course, was 15 days later, or excuse me, 10 days rather.
It's the first pitch to Wood, and he rifles a fastball just outside. It's a ball and no strikes.
Yeah, so had 10 straight days off, then had 5 more, but rain backed up his start again.
1-0. Just downstairs with the fastball, 2 balls and no strikes.
So in those 2 games, 7 walks when he had 3 walks in his previous 3 games.
The 2-0. Swing and a miss. Fastball right by Wood. It's 2 balls and a strike. Just 2 runs allowed in the 6 2/3 innings over his last 2 starts. So he winds over his head and deals a 2-1, and Wood lifts one into shallow center. A long run for the center fielder Twigo, and on the move, he makes the catch for out number 1.
You know, awesome stuff. Twigo in center, one of the first times we've seen him play out there. Then moving John Long to right field for today's game. And we've raved about Dean Twigo's athleticism all year. We've seen him at first. We've seen him make great plays in right. And hopefully Twigo can stick in center because he's a big guy, a lot of speed, and somebody who should be able to slot in and play that position very well.
So Connor Larson to the plate with 1 away, and he watches a first pitch fastball downstairs. It's a ball and no strikes. Zebrado played center field in Game 1 today and hit a home run 414 feet. He gets a break for Game 2. 1-0, a line drive right back off the screen, and it's even at a ball and a strike. Big Train will head into the All-Star game tomorrow in the lead of the North Division with only a couple weeks left to play in the regular season. The 1-1 down and in, 2 balls and a strike, and winning the division so important this season. You win the division, you get a first-round bye. If you don't, and you come in second or third, you have to play a one-game playoff. 2-1, hot shot on the ground to the right side. The first baseman, Dixon Williams, fields on a hop, takes it to the bag himself for out number 2. And it brings up Evan Bolden, who went 0 for 4 in Game 1, the Delaware State product. Trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the first. Galley wheels and deals. And a swing and a miss has Bolden well out in front of the slider. No balls and a strike. Here's the 0-1. And Bolden chops one foul towards his dugout down the third base line and quickly behind. 0-2.
And the Big Train picked up their 17th win of the season, handing the Grays their 17th loss, and they came in.
It's the 0-2 slider, low and outside, a ball and 2 strikes.
And they came in 2 games ahead of the Crop Dusters, who started off a little slow, got really hot, have beaten the Big Train twice, but they've kind of tailed off a little bit, so a huge opportunity for the Big Train if they can win this game as well.
1-2. A called strike 3, the slider paints the outside corner. Down goes Bolden, and the inning is over. 1-2-3. Go the Grays in the bottom of the first. On to the second. It's 2-0 Big Train. Top of the second from the Nationals Academy in Washington, D.C. 2-0 Big Train as Connor Rasmussen steps in to lead things off. The left-handed hitting shortstop faces the right-hander Alex Jankowski out for inning number 2. And he fires a first pitch in the dirt with the fastball. Ball and no strikes. Big Train scored 2 runs in the first on 2 hits. And left 1 on at third. But a much better start than in Game 1, the 1-0. Rasmussen lines it back off the screen, a ball and a strike. Big Train have scored 5 runs unanswered since trailing 2-0 in Game 1 earlier this afternoon. Rasmussen twirls that purple bat out in front of him as he gets back into the box. 1-1. Takes low and inside with the fastball. Just misses off the corner. 2 balls and a strike. The rain has passed. Beautiful sunset out in left center field. As the sun hides behind the clouds, 2-1. And Rasmussen hops one foul towards the first base dugout. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rained for about an hour in DC, and the Lightning forced us to take a delay. 2-2. Rasmussen rolls one sharply to the right side. The second baseman, Mondo Fields, sets his feet and throws in time for out number 1. So it brings Nick DeLisi to the plate with 1 away.
Yeah, this whole part of the order in cold right now. Didn't play in game 1, so it'll take a little bit for them to adjust.
It's the first pitch to DeLisi, and it hits him on the hand.
Ooh.
Or maybe not. They're calling him back now. And DeLisi holds up his right hand and points towards his wrist and says it hit him. Our home plate umpire now talking to the manager, Sal Colangelo, and they're calling him back.
Yeah, we could hear that from up here. Our on-field shotgun microphone is pretty far away, but you could hear it scraped by him.
And you wonder if they're saying he didn't get out of the way. It was a check swing from DeLisi, and as he started to swing, he pulled back, and it clipped him right on the wrist. No balls and a strike the count. As he steps back to the plate, the 0-1. Breaking ball spins away. It's a ball and a strike. DeLisi played his second game of the summer here in DC. 1-1. Takes a fastball downstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Against the Grays, had a double and scored a run in the 15-2 win. 2-1 pitch. Hits a little bloop to the right side. The first baseman, Bolden, backs up, and along the line in fair territory, he reaches above his head to make the catch for out number 2.
And that's frustrating for DeLisi. You know, you could see he took his time back to the dugout after that one. Thought he had a hit by pitch, was adamant about it, and then pops out over to first base.
With 2 away, John Long to the plate, the left-handed hitting right fielder. And he swings at the first pitch and lifts it foul well over the limited seating that exists at the Nationals Academy. 0-1. Long has played some center field and some right field. Today he gets the start in right. 0-1. Takes a fastball low and inside. Ball and a strike. Are you surprised he's not in center field for game 2?
No, I'm not. John and Dean, both versatile guys, and you want to get them time at different positions. And
it's the 1-1 pitch. Skips low and inside again with a fastball. 2-1.
In this case, you know, I don't think it's anything against John Long. I don't think he's done anything wrong. He played center field and started there during the Martha's Vineyard game. So, you know, he has recently played center field, but it's an opportunity to move guys around a little bit.
With 2 outs and a 2-0 lead for the Big Train. A 2-1 pitch to Long, and he watches a strike fire in at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Base is empty. That's certainly an opportunity to see what Twygo can do in center field. Big Train great defensively in the outfield. 2-2. Long swings and misses at a high fastball. He strikes out to end the inning. Jankowski bounces back with a 1-2-3 top of the second. To the bottom half we go. It's 2-0 Big Train. The All-Star Parker Goff leads things off for the DC Grays in the home half of the second. 2-0, the Big Train on top, and back to the mound returns Patrick Galley in what is an all-star on all-star matchup. Galley selected as part of the pitching staff for the North, and Goff, one of the catchers for the South. First pitch to him. Takes the slider outside, a ball and no strikes. Galley peeks over his glove, the 1-0. High and tight, watch out. And Goff has to spin out of the way. 2 balls and no strikes. One of the hardest fastballs in the Cal Ripken League. That's what Galley has to offer. As he steps off and resets on the mound. With his left foot in front of his right. He wheels and deals a 2-0. And it's just inside with a fastball. 3 balls and no strikes. Grays went down in order, 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the first. As the 3-0 well inside, and it hits Goff. So a hit by pitch allows him to reach. And there's a runner at first with nobody out.
Either way, he would have reached base. That ball well inside on a 3-0. Galley, though, we've seen that fastball touch upper 90s, and throughout that entire plate appearance, just no real command of it whatsoever.
So Miles Sargent to the plate. He takes a first pitch fastball in the zone for a strike, 0-1. Sargent, the best power bat on this Grays team, 3 home runs on the summer. 0-1. Skips in the dirt in front of DeLisi. Goff thinks about second and then darts back to first. It's a ball and a strike.
Yeah, he got a little bold down there at first, but hesitated and made it back into first base safely. But DeLisi had that ball not bounced so far away, would have easily had a chance.
1-1. Up and in with the fastball. And again, a Grays hitter has to back out of the way. It's 2 balls and a strike to the main product team that had one of their best seasons in recent memory. Went to the Coral Gables Regional down in Miami. 2-1. Pops one up right in front of the plate. It's the pitcher Galley who calls forward, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
It sounded like the bat may have broke as well. Galley sticking with that fastball, sticking with it inside. And for Sargent, when he got around on it, got jammed, popped it up, and it looks like it may have hit closer towards the knob of the bat, towards the end of the bat, rather than the actual barrel.
Henry Zippe steps up. Mentioned that Coral Gables Regional, and Galley was just a freshman this year, so he was not a part of it for Ole Miss 2 years ago. Is the first pitch to Zippe, high and wide with a fastball, a ball and no strikes. But that's where Ole Miss got its start, when they went from the last team in the field to the last team standing.
Yes.
Won the national championship. 1-0. Zippe takes wide again with a fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. Maine, on the other hand, not so fortunate down in Coral Gables. Lost to the Hurricanes, and then they lost to Louisiana. 2-0. Outside with a fastball. 3 balls and no strike. Actually, the team that Big Train catcher Clay Wargo plays for. A lot of connections to the Coral Gables Regional without a Miami player present. 3-0. Well upstairs with a fastball. It's ball 4. Second free pass of the inning, and there's runners at first and second with 1 down.
Yeah, Galley is pitching very similarly to Jankowski, where that part of the zone right now, that fastball up and into righties, high and outside to lefties, no command right now at all with it.
And a meeting on the mound is his catcher Nick DeLisi, his third baseman Jack Guerrero come out and chat with him. Is that an easy adjustment to make?
I don't know if you would say it's easy. As someone who doesn't really have much of a baseball background playing, I can't tell you the specifics of it. But for Galley, though, his slider is really, really good, and you have a bunch of righties in this lineup. So if he needs to resort to the breaking ball a little bit more, he has that opportunity to do it. And if you're also going to throw to righties fastballs, maybe try to go to the opposite zone.
As he fires one on the outside corner to Michael Malice. No balls and a strike. Ground ball could get Galley out of the inning. 0-1. Foul tip into the glove. It's 0-2 with one out. Runners at first and second. And the Grays trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Runners start then stop. 0-2. Called strike three. A late call on the slider. Galley puts it perfectly on the outside corner. And there's two down.
Yeah. Like I said, has that slider to go to if the fastball is not working. Changed the locations twice with that fastball. He went outside the first time on that corner. The last one, he went inside but lowered it, and then goes to the slider on the outside corner. That's a really good sequence, and he's able to command all three of those pitches well. So now you know it's just that up and in zone that he's struggling with.
Braden Mondo to the plate, and he takes a pitch low and outside. It skips past Alisi and allows the runners to move up. Goff heads to third. Zippe roams over to second, and there's a pair in scoring position with two down. A ball and no strikes to Braden Mondo.
Another thing Galley's going to do is he's going to go back to that dugout, and he's going to talk to Coach Lopez a little bit, because I'm sure Lopez sees stuff that we don't see right now.
1-0, high and tight with the fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. Mondo hitting to BYU this fall from Pima College in Arizona. 2-0. That fastball just misses. It's 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, that one really close. Nick DeLisi kind of held up for a second there before throwing the ball back to Galley, because both him and Galley were waiting.
3-0, and that hits Mondo on the elbow. High and tight again. And the bases are loaded, and Mondo did have the elbow guard on, but man, that hurts.
Yeah, that's that up and in spot. That's twice now he's hit a batter in this inning on that same pitch, same location. And, you know, as of right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Patrick maybe just in this inning starts to abandon that zone a little bit. He's in the bases loaded jam, not for the entire game, of course, and not until you talk to Coach Lopez a little bit about what he's seeing, maybe try to figure it out. But you can't afford to be throwing pitches up there right now, because we've seen it's either hitting batters or it's clearly pitches that miss outside of the zone, and he's giving up free walks.
So Justin Greck to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 down. Galley from the windup, the first pitch, high and tight again with the fastball. It's a ball and no strikes. Off of third is Goff. At second is Zippe. At first is Mondo. 1-0. And Greck lines it right back off the screen behind the plate. Ball and a strike. Greck heading to his senior season at Lafayette College. 1-1. Swings and pops one up foul behind the plate. And well past the seats, a ball and 2 strikes.
This is perfect for Galley to try to go with that slider. He's gone 2 fastballs in a little bit lower after the one that went high and tight.
1-2. Paints the outside corner and gets a called third strike to end the inning. Galley works around a bases loaded jam. On to the third we go. 2-0 Big Train. Back to the top of the order to begin the third. 2-0 Big Train lead. Dean Twigo leads things off to face Alex Jankowski. Twigo singled and scored back in the top of the first. And he swings at a first pitch changeup and well out in front. No balls and a strike.
Yeah, Big Train have a big opportunity here because these four guys have played in both games. They had a great first inning. So the hope is that the four of them can be really locked in facing the right-hander.
0-1. Twigo pops it up left side. Into foul territory goes the third baseman, Sargent. And he is in the third base coaching box when he makes the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, Twigo was out in front of an off-speed pitch and then swung late on a fastball, just completely overpowered in that at-bat and popped out in foul territory.
So Lucas Phelps to the plate, 5 straight retired by Jankowski since he allowed 2 early runs in the first. As he fires in a fastball to Phelps, who takes it all the way, 0-1 the count, right on that inside corner. Jankowski deals an 0-1. Phelps takes again, this one outside with a fastball, a ball and a strike. Phelps taps his red bat on the plate as he stares in towards the mound. Jankowski deals a 1-1, and Phelps takes high and inside with a fastball. It's 2 balls and a strike. Sun is set in D.C. Some purple and dark clouds in the distance beyond the left center field fence. 2-1 to Phelps. He lines one deep to right center field. Back goes the right fielder, Zippe, but he's able to catch up to it and make the catch for out number 2. So Jeffrey Hurd comes up with 2 away. Tries to keep the inning alive. A powerful lefty bat in this Big Train lineup. First pitch to him. And he takes a fastball outside, a ball and no strikes. He walked and scored back in the first. Has 3 walks between the 2 games today. 1-0. Hurd well out in front on the breaking ball, and he swings and misses, a ball and a strike. Jankowski rocks to a set position. 1-1. And he pinpoints. Fastball at the knees. It's a ball and 2 strikes. 2 down and a 2-0 lead. The Big Train trying to get something going in the top of the third. 1-2 pitch. Hurd hits a high fly ball into center. Back goes the center fielder, Grack, into the left center field gap. He reaches up and makes the catch to end the inning. Big Train go down 1-2-3 again. Jankowski is retired 7 straight. On to the bottom of the third we go. 2-0 Big Train. Bottom of the third. From the Nationals Academy in Washington, D.C., it's 2-0 Big Train. It's the top of the order back up for the Grays. Galley returns to the mound, and the first pitch to Derek Wood skips in the dirt. A ball and no strikes. That fastball for Galley has been up and down so far.
Yeah, but you got an opportunity here to make your adjustments second time through the lineup in the 1-2-3 part of the order.
1-0, swing and a miss. Wood comes up empty on the fastball. It's a ball and a strike.
Yeah, the 1-2-3 part of the order in the first, Patrick Galley did really good against it. And so you hope he can make more adjustments and dominate them again.
1-1. And he pours in a fastball in the inside corner, called a strike. 1-2 the count. Big Train trying to sweep the Grays as some fireworks explode over the center field fence. This season, Big Train have won the first three, trying to make it an even 4. 1-2, swing and a miss, goes with the slider, and Wood strikes out swinging for out number 1.
Yeah, all 4 strikeouts so far for Patrick Galley now have been on that slider. So if Galley is struggling and can almost stumble his way into a 2-strike count, there's a good chance he's going to be able to finish.
So with 1 away, Connor Larson steps up to the plate. Oh, first pitch slider stays a little upstairs. It's a ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0, and Larson pops it up behind the plate, a mile high, and it gets out of play. Over near the batting cages. Some lucky kid gets a souvenir.
And one of the coolest parts, I think, of this complex, that all-star pavilion they have, really, really nicely built.
1-1, slider, finds the outside corner. Galley ahead, a ball and 2 strikes.
This entire complex itself is really nice. We've had the opportunity to go inside the main building as well, where they have a lot of the classrooms too.
1-2. And Larson lines one back off the screen. It stays a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, fantastic academy and plenty of tournaments put on here, including some fun softball games we've seen in our 2 trips here this summer. 1-2 from Galley. And Larson late on a slider. He pops it foul and out of play again down the first base side. Stays the ball in 2 strikes.
Threw the bat.
Did. Has to go retrieve it.
Yeah, nearly hit the on-deck hitter who ran towards behind home plate almost to get away from that one with that bat headed towards the on-deck circle.
Evan Bolden on deck. So Larson retrieves his stick and steps back into the plate as he scrapes his cleats into the turf. 1-2. Fastball skips in the dirt, and that clips the catcher, Nick DeLisi. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Galley gets a couple tosses of the rosin bag as some more fireworks go off beyond the third baseline. Some leftovers from July 4th, you would imagine. 2-2. Larson hits a high chopper down the third base line. Guerrero goes back to field. A long throw to first is not in time. Larson able to beat it out, and that high hop that forces Guerrero to take a few steps back proves to be the difference.
Yeah, that was actually the right decision by Guerrero to wait on that one because of that high hop. So it was either let the ball go past you if you charge it, or wait on it and see if you can make a throw. Guerrero, of course, with Larson going down that line, didn't have an opportunity to kind of step and throw. He just kind of had to throw it immediately.
So the first hit of the day for the Grays. Trying to get on the board, trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the third as the first pitch to Bolden is a perfect fastball on the outside edge. Called a strike, 0-1.
I'm not sure Galley's thrown a slider yet that hasn't been called a strike. I mean, he is hitting that part of the zone so consistently, and DC is not seeing it. Only time they've made contact.
Throw to first and diving back in safely is Larson.
Yeah, only time they made contact was that foul ball, and the bat was thrown at the same time.
Galley set. Larson leads off of first. The 0-1 and a fastball is fouled back and out of play. Behind the plate, 0-2. Galley leans in. Another throw to first. This one closer, but Larson back in safely. Gets that right hand in before the left hand to Williams can apply the tag.
Galley's tough to run on with how fast that fastball comes to home plate.
Larson an extra step off the bag. 0-2, a little looper up the middle. A dive from Phelps. It's off his glove and into left center field. Right behind second base, Lucas Phelps gave it his best effort, but comes up just short. And it's back-to-back base hits for the Grays, and it puts runners at first and second with one down.
Well, he keeps the streak alive with sliders being called strikes, but the first time it's been put into play, and this one just a little looper over the second base bag, nearly an out as well. Great attempt by Phelps, who's played some solid second base through these two games today.
So Parker Goff to the plate. After a couple soft hit singles. And here comes Nick DeLisi to chat on the mound with his right-hander, Patrick Galley.
Galley so far has been about 50-50 when it comes to balls to strikes. 26 strikes, 22 balls. Has done better in this inning particularly, but overall the consistency just hasn't been there right now.
No easy task with Parker Goff at the plate. Had 2 runs scored, both of the runs for the Grays in game 1. Comes up with a chance to do some damage in the bottom of the third. 2-0 Big Train, but 2 on for the Grays. The first pitch to Goff and the slider low and outside. A ball and no strikes.
Yeah, you definitely got to be careful here with Goff. Goff was patient so far today. He's taken all 5 pitches. The last one.
So the 1-0 skips in the dirt. DeLisi tries to throw back to second. Not in time. Just barely. Larson gets back. And the Big Train almost had the Grays shortstop napping off the bag.
Yeah, Larson got both hands in on the outside of the bag, and the tag from Phelps was kind of in on his chest.
1-1. That fastball is called a strike on the outside corner. They get 2 balls and a strike, actually. The count was 2-0. Galley checks behind him at Larson. Phelps tries to cover the bag, and Galley steps off. Right-hander has slowed the pace down as he works through traffic for a second consecutive inning. 2-1. Slider low and outside. 3 balls and a strike.
That's a good take for Goff. That one, though, did break a little bit further.
Three balls and a strike with 1 out and runners at first and second. Here it comes. And Galley finds the strike zone at the knees, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think Goff wanted to walk there. You can kind of see him look back real quick. It was on that outer part of the plate, but good command right there for Galley to find that location.
3-2. Goff hits one high and deep down the left field line. Long run for Hurd. It hits off the wall. 1 run comes in to score. That's Larson. Over to third goes Bolden, and in standing at second with an RBI double is the all-star Parker Goff.
Yeah, Galley went back to a fastball there, leaked in over the part of the plate, and he hit it 306 feet, so a lot of ballparks, that's an easy catch. But Jeffrey Hurd, A, shaded over to left center field, and B, with that wall only being 307 feet, an easy extra base hit. And Hurd with a strong throw in as well, and that ball coming off the wall so hard, limiting it to just one run.
It's 2-1 Big Train, but the Grays with the tying runner and go-ahead runner in scoring position. And the first pitch to Miles Sargent is popped high and foul behind the plate. No balls and a strike.
And look for Sargent to just try to be productive here. See if he can lift a fly ball or hit something to the opposite side of the infield.
0-1. Rolls one off the mound of Galley. He picks it up, tries to throw to first. It scoots by and down the right field line. In to score Bolden. Goff right behind him. And the Grays take the lead. It's 3-2 in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, I don't know. For Galley, that ball hit off of him. And now you're going to see Nick DeLisi and the umpire come out to check on him. But tried to barehand it and almost make a jump throw while falling at the same time. And, I mean, the throw was not even close to Dixon Williams.
So Craig Lopez, the pitching coach, will come out and check on his right-hander. It looks like it hit off his shin, and then it rolled back down the mound. Galley tried to chase it down, pick it up, and throw to first, but his throw was right towards where the base runner, Miles Sargent, was chugging to first, and Dixon Williams did all he could, but ball gets past him, and then it just was right down the right field line.
Yeah.
Allowed 2 runs to score easily.
Galley pointed to his left leg, so it either hit off his left foot or, like you said, his left shin. So that ball lined to Galley's left to the hitter's right and ended up catching that left leg of Patrick Galley.
So the first pitch in to Henry Zippe, and he fouls it off the catcher Nick DeLisi. No balls and a strike. 3 runs already across for the Grays in the bottom of the third. Nothing in 1 the count to Zippe. With 1 out and a runner at first. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. The slider. The outside corner, 0-2. Another long inning for Patrick Galley. 0-2. Slider well outside. It's a ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch, a swing and a miss. Down goes Zippe for out number 2. And a big second out.
That's a tough hitter to do it against in Zippe, who came into this game hitting well over 300 thanks to 3 hits in game 1. But for Galley to work the outside corner for a guy who has tormented Big Train pitching so far this season.
As the first pitch in to Michael Malice is downstairs, a ball and no strikes. Galley set at the belt. 1-0. Down again. It's 2 balls and no strikes. As he looks over at first. The runner Sargent. 2-0. And Malice pops it foul behind the plate. And well beyond the seats. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch fouled right back again. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Three runs across for the Grays to take the lead in the bottom of the third. Galley looks over at first. 2-2. Soft ground ball to the left side. The third baseman Guerrero fields, slings it to first in time for out number 3, and the inning comes to an end. But 3 runs score for the Grays on 4 hits and 1 error. They leave 1 stranded. On to the 4th. It's 3-2, DC in front. Top of the 4th. From the Nationals Academy, it is 3-2. The Grays ahead of the Big Train after a 3-run inning for DC in the bottom of the 3rd. And it's 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Big Train. Jacob Orr to lead things off against Alex Jankowski. First pitch to him. Slider in the dirt, and he swings and misses. Well over it. 0-1 the count. Jankowski and those gold cleats back out for his 4th inning of work. 0-1. And he fires in a strike right at the knees with a fastball. 0-2. Big Train trying to sweep the doubleheader. They've yet to sweep a doubleheader so far this summer. Split the first 2. 0-2 pitch. Slider and Orr out in front, and he chops it behind the plate. It stays no balls and 2 strikes. As we've had fireworks go off all evening in DC. The leftovers from July 4th. 0-2 pitch. Slider just outside. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think Jankowski wanted that one. That's similar zone to where Patrick Galley's been getting those calls all night.
So Jankowski set again on a 1-2. Orr chops one sharply to the right side. The second baseman Mondo fields as he moves in, sets his feet and flips it over to first for out number 1. See all these fireworks, Adam. Did you catch any fireworks on July 4th? I know you guys were up in Newport.
Ooh, I have to think now. We definitely saw fireworks at some point in time. I don't remember where we were. It might have been when we were at Salve Regina University, which is where we stayed that night.
It's Jack Guerrero to the plate. Swings at the first pitch and dribbles it back behind the plate. 0-1.
We've never been big fireworks people in my family because we have 4 dogs.
Yeah, that makes the dogs go a little crazy.
Yeah, it hurts their ears, so we've never really done it.
Of course, here in D.C., great fireworks display over the National Mall. 0-1. Guerrero takes inside with a fastball, ball and a strike. Great show they put on. About 45 minutes of fireworks, nonstop.
How many times have you seen it? Ooh, saw that one.
Just seeing pictures. And a couple
okay.
videos, never in person. 1-1. Carrero rolls one softly left side. The shortstop Larson comes in, fields on the run, throws across his body in time, 2 away. Dixon Williams to the plate with 2 down and nobody aboard. Big Train trailing 3-2 in the top of the 4th. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball. 0-1. Williams a strikeout back in the first. As Jankowski has retired 9 straight. Starting with that Dixon Williams strikeout. A 1 pitch downstairs with the slider below the knees, even at 1-1. Grays trying to jump back into the playoff conversation. Currently in 4th place, half game behind the Braves. As the 1-1 inside, 2 balls and a strike to Williams. Only the top 3 teams in the 4-team division make it. Grays would love to be a part of the postseason this year.
And the postseason's completely different. So even if you maybe have the 6th best record of the teams, doesn't mean you can't make a run.
2-1. Williams hits a line drive into right field. In comes the right fielder Zippe, and on the move, he brings it in, inning over. 10 straight retired for Alex Jankowski. We're on to the bottom of inning number 4. It's 3-2. Braden Mondu to lead things off in the bottom of the 4th. 3-2, the Grays on top of the Big Train. And back to the plate after a big inning where they scored all 3 of those runs in the bottom of the 3rd. As Galley returns to the mound, wheels and deals. And Mondu pops it up on the right side into the outfield, drifts the second baseman Phelps, and John Long, the right fielder, calls him off at the last second and makes the catch for out number 1. So Justin Greck to the plate. Strikeout victim back in the 2nd. And was the final out of the inning, which saw the Grays strand the bases loaded. Here's the pitch to him. And he takes outside with the slider. It's a ball and no strikes. Galley peers over his glove. Has the one he likes. 1-0. Another slider again, just outside. 2 balls and no strikes. The lights shine bright on this turf field at the Nationals Academy. As we roll past 9 p.m. Eastern. 2-0, a line drive off the netting above first base dugout. It's 2 balls and a strike. No wind at the moment. It was gusting earlier as we started game 1. 2-1. Line drive into center field. Back goes the center fielder, Twigo. He stops in his tracks to make the catch for out number 2. So back to the top of the order for Derek Wood.
Good to see Galley here work through those first 2 hitters very quickly, trying to reverse the script from last inning and have a successful 4th.
As the first pitch to Wood goes sky high over the catcher DeLisi into the backstop. It's a ball and no strikes.
Actually was a slider. You could see he just didn't have that same velocity on his fastball when that one went over the head of DeLisi. Just lost the grip.
1-0. Swing and a miss at the fastball. It's a ball and a strike. Galley works on the mound. A 1-1. Wood hits one into right field, a base hit past the second baseman Phelps, who gave it an all-out effort, but a 2-out knock for Derek Wood.
That's a hanging slider for Galley that leaked over the heart of the plate. And Wood, your leadoff guy, and while he may be hitting in the 170s coming in, again, not going to miss a pitch like that.
You better watch your language over there. So Connor Larson to the plate with 2 down and a runner at first.
If you ever meet my boss, he's got a list of them.
As it's upstairs with a fastball, ball and no strikes.
Let's just say it's a good thing he doesn't work for the Anaheim Ducks.
Maybe it's a good thing you don't work for the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, come on.
1-0, runner on the move. Pitch downstairs. The throw from DeLisi to second is not in time. Derek Wood swipes second and actually dives right through the legs of Lucas Phelps, but able to hold on to the base. So runner in scoring position with 2 down for the Grays, who look for an insurance run. 2 balls, no strikes, the count to Connor Larson. Galley deals. Low and outside with a fastball. 3 balls and no strikes.
Everything going well for Galley until he hung that slider, and now struggling to find the zone.
Galley peeks back at second. Wood, big lead, and it's ball 4. DeLisi tries to throw back behind the runner at second. Not in time, so a 2-out walk, and it brings up the most dangerous part of the lineup, Evan Bolden with Parker Goff on deck. So Bolden stands in. 1 for 2 today, scored a run an inning ago. First pitch to him, and the fastball well outside, a ball and no strikes. Galley set on the mound, 1-0. Called to strike at the knees with a fastball, even at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Bolden takes another fastball right at the knees. Again called to strike. Galley ahead 1-2. And Adam, this feels like a pivotal pitch here.
Yeah, with runners in scoring position and the offense with just 2 hits, If he can get Galley through 4 solid innings.
1-2, downstairs in the dirt. Wood off for third, and he swipes it without a throw. And there's runners at the corners. Connor Larson never took off. The count 3 balls and a strike. 3, or make it 2-2. And the count now 3 balls and 2 strikes as Connor Larson steals second.
And Galley not really paying attention at all right now to the base runners.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch in the dirt with the fastball. Back-to-back walks, and it brings up Parker Goff. And that might be the end of the day for Patrick Galley.
Yeah, it looks like Sal Colangelo is maybe just waiting on a thumbs up.
He heads out to the mound. Let's see if he takes the baseball. He will, from Patrick Galley. So his night is done after 3 2/3. Big Train need 1 final out with the bases loaded and 2 away. And we'll take a break on the Big Train at Baseball Network. Bottom of the 4th, 2 outs, and the bases loaded for Parker Goff. The new pitcher is Austin Morris, 1.54 ERA in 5 games played. He's gone 11 2/3 innings pitched, but looking to get a crucial out. It's the first pitch to Parker Goff. Watch out. High and tight with the fastball. It's a ball and no strikes as Goff just spins out of the way. A ball and no strikes the count. Grays up 3-2. Looking to add some insurance. 1-0. And Goff swings away and fouls one right back off the screen. It's a ball and a strike. Second time that Morris has faced the Grays through a scoreless inning here at the Nationals Academy back on June 11th. 1-1 pitch. Goff lines one right back off the screen again, and behind in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Three runs allowed in the bottom of the third by the Big Train. DC looking to add on in the fourth. 1-2. And Goff once again sends it right back off the netting. It's a ball and 2 strikes. At third is Wood. At second is Larson. At first is Bolden. 1-2 again. Goff hits the ball in the air to shallow center field. Incoming is the center fielder Twigo, and he makes the catch to end the inning. The Grays do not score. They leave the bases stranded, loaded for the second time tonight. And we head to the fifth, 3-2 DC. Top of the fifth from the Nationals Academy, 3-2 the Grays lead. As the Big Train look to battle back from a late inning deficit once again. Connor Rasmussen to get things started to face Alex Jankowski. The first pitch is lined right back off the screen. No balls and a strike the count. Jankowski has set down 10 straight Big Train after he allowed 2 early runs in the top of the first. Rocks to a set position. 0-1. Rasmussen squares, bunts it down the third base line. Jankowski off the mound, can't pick it up cleanly, and he has no throw. It's a single for Rasmussen on the bunt. And the first hit for the Big Train since the top of the first puts the tying run at first in the top of the fifth.
Yeah, that's exactly what you hope for. I was going to say before Rasmussen stepped up that all you need is one swing to kind of get something going here, with it just being a one-run game. And not a swing, but still a great decision and a great bunt.
So Nick DeLisi to the plate as Jankowski steps off. Rasmussen with great speed as he leads off of first. Pitch to the Big Train catcher, And he swings and fouls it off his counterpart behind the plate, off of Malice. No balls and a strike as the Grays catcher pops up and walks around, tries to shake it off. Big Train trying to sweep the season series against the Grays in their final and fourth meeting this summer. As a throw back to first and back safely on a dive is Rasmussen. Malice gets a couple shakes of the rosin bag and back to work on the mound. Long hold. 0-1, Rasmussen on the move. DeLisi takes, throw down to second, is there in time to get him. The tag applied by Mondo, and there's one away.
And it was a good pitch to run on because it wasn't a fastball, but it missed up, so Malice was already getting up, and you just saw the strong arm right there, Eli. I mean, perfectly placed to throw out Rasmussen.
Malice throws out the runner at second. The count. A ball and a strike to DeLisi as he swings away and lifts one foul behind the plate. It's a ball and 2 strikes. And all of a sudden, momentum for the Big Train quickly erased once again. 1-2. Upstairs with a fastball. Nice take by DeLisi. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jankowski works the 2-2 pitch. DeLisi lines one into right center field. Long run for the center fielder, Grech, but he catches up to it in the right center field gap for out number 2.
That's tough for DeLisi. That's one of the hardest hit balls of the night for the Big Train, and just a great job by Grech. Great jump as well, going out to right center field to make that grab.
So with 2 away, John Long to the plate. And despite the hit, Jankowski has set down the last 12 Big Train in order. First pitch to the right fielder, and he foul tips it into the glove of Malice. 0-1. Jankowski has been fantastic since that first inning. 0-1 upstairs with a fastball, a ball and a strike.
Long with real good speed here. Even if he hits a ground ball, has a good chance to beat it out.
Jankowski's 1-1, and Long pops it up behind the plate. Malice, the catcher, gives it a look, but watches it land in the seat, and the chase is on for that foul ball. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Not a huge crowd tonight in D.C. Better than the crowd back on June 11th, the last time the Big Train made the trip. A little bit cooler later in the evening. 1-2. Long takes inside. It hits off the glove of Malice and rolls to the backstop. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And the last time we were here, it was pretty much just made up of Big Train fans and the interns. So just a complete turnaround. A good amount of DC fans on that side of the stands right now.
Down the first base side. Although the stands don't pass the dugouts. 2-2. Long takes the changeup low and inside. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big Train trying to get a runner aboard against Alex Jankowski. The 3-2. Long rolls one on the ground to first. The first baseman, Bolden Fields. He takes it to the bag himself for out number 3, inning over. Jankowski has set down the last 13 in order. To the bottom of the 5th we go. 3-2 Grays on top. Miles Sargent leads things off, bottom of the 5th, 3-2 Grays. And the first pitch in is a slider outside, a ball and no strikes. Austin Morris back to the mound after he got out of a bases-loaded 2-out jam in the 4th. 1-0, a swing and a miss at a hard fastball at the knees, a ball and a strike. Big Train trying to keep it a 1-run game before getting 2 more chances as a 1-1 swing and a miss on the slider. Down in the dirt, a ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 6th and then the bottom of the 7th for Bethesda. Morris deals a 1-2. That slider spins outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big Train put together a rally in Game 1. Trying to do the same in Game 2. 2-2 swing and a miss. The fastball blows right by Sargent, 1 away.
That's great stuff from Morris. He had a good sequence there, but finishing off on a fastball, which for Austin has always been his strongest pitch this season.
So with 1 down, it's Henry Zippe to the plate. 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout in 2 plate appearances. As the lefty waits in the first pitch, swing and a miss at a fastball. 0-1. The bullpen has been excellent today for the Big Train, yet to allow a run between Max Martzoff and Austin Morris. 0-1. Outside with a fastball, ball and a strike. Morris, another guy who is deserving an all-star nod. Just too many relievers in the Big Train bullpen. 1-1. Little looper. High grab from Jack Guerrero at third. He climbs the ladder to bring it down.
Yeah, that's one of the best plays we've seen this season. Backhanded, the hat falls off at the same time. What a play.
Goes all the way upstairs to bring it down, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. Michael Malice to the plate. First pitch in. And Morris fires in a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Right back at the knees with a fastball. 0-2. Morris peers over that crimson glove. The Alabama product wheels and deals an 0-2. Slider outside. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Working quickly, 1-2 pitch. Hot shot right back up the middle, past the mound and into center field. Malice has his first hit of the day. And it's a 2-out knock that brings up Braden Mondo.
Well, that's 2 straight innings now that the Big Train have been able to retire the first 2 outs of the inning, and then all of a sudden base hits. So, for Morris, he's going to want to limit it here. This is a 1-run game. They were able to do it last inning when he came in. But you're running out of time if you're the Big Train.
First pitch to Mondo. Fastball misses high and wide. It's a ball and no strikes. Big Train trying to keep this a 1-run game. 1-0. Fastball called a strike, a ball and a strike to count. In game 1, the Big Train are down a run in the bottom of the 5th and hit a solo home run off the bat of Zub Ruddle to tie the game. Would walk it off 3 innings later in the 8th. A throwback to first, and Malice dives in safely. Tonight, they're down to their final 6 outs. One. Slider outside. It hits off the glove of DeLisi and rolls to the backstop. Malice over to second. He takes a big turn, but holds there. It's a runner in scoring position for the Grays with a chance to add some insurance. Morris checks back at second, 2-1. And Mondo lines it right back off the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I like coming back with the fastball. The slider wasn't competitive. He threw the wild pitch. Nick DeLisi barely able to even get a glove on it right off the end of it because of how far outside it went. So to come back with that reliable fastball puts you in a better situation here.
Look back at second, the 2-2. Inside, and it hits Mondo. And it puts runners at first and second with 2 down.
If I'm Sal Colangelo, I would start to get a little bit frustrated here. The Big Train so close to being able to get out of these innings, and then all of a sudden command just goes out the window essentially. Hard hit baseballs, hit by pitches, just not what you want to see from your pitching staff.
So it brings up Justin Grack. For the last 3 innings, the Grays have stranded 7 runners. Certainly have missed some opportunities. Justin Grack at the plate, 0 for 2 on the day. With 2 outs and 2 on. First pitch well up and inside, a ball and no strikes.
Starting to wonder a little bit now whether or not the whole, we've seen it now with 3 different pitchers tonight, missing consistently in that part of the zone. And you wonder if it's maybe something not with their command and it's something natural.
1-0. High and tight again, 2 balls and no strikes. Explain what you mean by natural.
Well, either natural meaning like earth factor or something external like the field or maybe something from the press box, because I don't think any pitcher tonight has thrown a strike at that part of the zone.
2-0, up and in again, 3 balls and no strikes.
Rather than it be something that they're doing with their command, overthrowing, something like that. Maybe it's a circumstance that they're under.
Morris looks back at second, 3-0. High and tight again, ball 4. And 2 outs has been magical for the Grays so far. They have loaded the bases again with 2 down. But can they come through for the first time? And that might be the end of the day for Austin Morris as Craig Lopez, the pitching coach, heads out to the mound. Peeks down at his bullpen. Looks like they have an arm warm, if necessary. But let's see if he sticks with his young right-hander, Austin Morris. He will go with Morris. With 2 outs and the bases loaded, the Big Train have stranded the bases loaded twice already tonight. Can they do it for a 3rd time? To the top of the order, Derek Wood. First pitch to him, squares the bunt, pulls back, and a fastball taken high and outside to the left-hander. A ball and no strikes. 1-0. That fastball misses outside again. 2 balls and no strikes with nowhere to put him.
DC has a chance to potentially win this game here.
2-0 up and away. 3 balls and no strikes.
With the way the offense has been for the Big Train, Bethesda being down to their final 6 outs, something in a gap here could wrap it up essentially.
3-0. Wood takes outside ball 4, and Morris walks home a run.
So, obviously we don't have TV, but that's back-to-back 4-pitch walks, and all 4 pitches to each one of those hitters. So all 8 pitches missing at that same part of the zone, that high and in for righties, high and outside for lefties.
It's 4-2 Grays in the bottom of the 5th, and Connor Larson to the plate. And finally, the Grays score a run with the bases loaded, but they might not be done. Here's the first pitch to Larson, and he takes a fastball right at the letters. Called a strike, 0-1. It's make or break time for the Big Train. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. And Morris ahead, 0-2. He works from the windup. 0-2 pitch. And Larson fouls it right back off the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Larson hits one sharply right side. Phelps able to stab it. The second baseman from one knee to his feet throws to first in time. Inning over. The Grays once again strand the bases loaded. They do get 1 across on 1 hit, but 3 left on base. On to the 6th inning we go. It's 4-2 DC. Top of the sixth, the new pitcher for the Grays is Jake Roberti, making his fifth appearance, a 7.83 ERA, 10 1/3 innings pitched. It's 4-2. Big Train trailing. Top of the sixth. And the leadoff man, Dean Twigo, to lead things off, and he takes a strike right at the knees on the inside corner, 0-1 to the tall lefty.
That's the part of the zone for Dean that he likes to swing at, but just a little low for him.
0-1. Out in front of the slider. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Big Train trying to rally for the second straight time today, after coming back and winning in Game 1 earlier this afternoon. 0-2 pitch. Twigo hits a fly ball into center field. The center fielder, Grech, moves a few steps to his right, camps under it, and makes the catch for out number 1. And Lucas Phelps comes to the plate. An 0-for-2 day, although his first at-bat was called out on batter's interference as Twigo tried to steal second. First pitch to Phelps is a fastball that is painted at the knees, 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Takes this fastball just downstairs, a ball and a strike. Big Train with just 1 hit since the first inning, as the fireworks continue to rumble in Washington, D.C. 1-1, and the breaking ball fouled right back off the screen. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Roberti's 1-2. Phelps pops it up right in front of the plate, and the pitcher able to come off the mound and make the play for out number 2.
Yeah, Phelps got jammed, broke the bat. He's holding it on his way back to the dugout. Doesn't look like it snapped that much, but at least cracked the bat. So we mentioned that red bat earlier. Unfortunately, that's the end of the road for that one.
So with 2 outs and nobody on, Jeffrey Hurd to the plate. Big Train down to their final 4 outs. First pitch to him. And the slider well outside, a ball and no strikes. One 0 pitch. Hurd takes lone inside, a fastball that skips in above his shoe tops. 2 balls and no strikes. As Roberti wheels and deals a 2-0. And Hurd hits a fly ball into left field. Back goes the left fielder. Wood stops in his tracks and makes the catch. Inning over. 1-2-3 go the Big Train. On to the bottom of the 6th. It's 4-2 Grays. Bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Grays with the new pitcher Davion Hickson on the mound, and he faces Evan Bolden, 3-4-5, due up in this Grays lineup looking for some more insurance. And the first pitch has a fastball well upstairs, a ball and no strikes.
Well, everybody knows what Davion throws, the fastball and the curveball, that two-pitch mix. It's been really solid this year for the right-hander.
1-0. High again with the fastball, 2 balls and no strikes, 2.70 ERA and 4 games pitched for Hickson. He heads from Florida State to Houston, Texas, where he will begin his college career at Rice. This fall is the 2-0, called a strike on the inside corner. It's 2-1. Hickson peers over the glove. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball well up and inside again. 3 balls and a strike. Bolden, a single, a walk, and a strikeout in 3 plate appearances today. 3-1. Upstairs with the fastball. Ball 4, a leadoff walk. Begins the bottom of the 6th.
I sound like a broken record, but it's that same location. Up and in. Not even Davion Hickson can hit it. And he's got an ERA in the 2s.
Well, it brings up the dangerous Parker Goff. What an afternoon and turned evening he has had. 3 hits on the day, 3 runs scored in RBI as he fouls the first pitch off of the catcher, DeLisi. No balls and a strike. Had a double back in the 3rd inning. Got the scoring started for the Grays. They've overcome a 2-run deficit to lead 4-2. 0-1. Curveball, dips outside, a ball and a strike. One. Goff takes up and in. It's 2 balls and a strike as Hickson struggles with command out of the bullpen.
Yeah, heavy fastball right now. Haven't seen too much of the curveball yet.
Off of first goes Bolden. Does have decent speed. 2-1. Up and in with the fastball. Watch out. Parker Goff ducks out of the way. It's 3 balls and a strike. Hickson leans in for the sign. Gives a quick look over to Bolden. 3-1. And Goff swings away and fouls one back off the screen. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Davion exclusively fastball so far in this at-bat. Looks like he wants to establish the heater before going to the breaking ball often, but we'll see if he does it here in a 3-2 count. Try to keep Goff off balance.
Hickson, ready at the belt. 3-2. Up and in with the fastball, ball 4. And it's back-to-back walks to begin the bottom of the 6th, and it brings Miles Sargent to the plate. A chance for the Grays to really put this game to bed. Sargent squares and bunts it down the 3rd base line, but it trickles foul. It's no balls and a strike. Big Train trailing by 2 in the bottom of the 6th. 0-1. Sargent squares again, goes around, does not make contact, and he's down no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Davion catching a bit of a break here. Not saying that those pitches weren't going to be called strikes, but not a great job done by Sargent.
So ahead 0-2. Here it comes. Sargent rolls one to the left side. The shortstop Rasmussen fields. He throws to third, and it's in time to get Evan Bolden one away.
Yeah, that's a heck of a play by the now Tulane shortstop, Connor Rasmussen. That ball hit in the hole. First curveball we've seen. Ground ball, exactly what you need, but hit too far away from second base. But Connor out there at short, the heads-up play, getting it to Guerrero at third.
So one away. At second is Goff. At first is Sargent for Henry Zippe. And Jack Guerrero ties his shoes, the third baseman for the Big Train, now ready. And Hickson steps back onto the mound. Zippe 0 for 2 with a walk on the day. First pitch to him is outside with a fastball, a ball and no strikes. Hickson set again, the 1-0. Zippe takes a called strike on the outside corner. It's 1-1. 4-2 Grays, bottom of the sixth. Goff dances off the bag at second, 1-1. Zippe lines one. Again, Guerrero leaps high at third to make the catch. Throws to second. It's in time, double play. Jack Guerrero, a pair of defensive gems. And we head to the seventh with the Grays leading 4-2. Top of the seventh, Big Train down to their final 3 outs, and Jacob Orr gets things started against Roberti in the first pitch high. A ball and no strikes. Needing 2 runs to tie, 3 to take the lead. Roberti deals a 1-0. Swing and a miss at a low fastball. Ball on a strike. Big Train have gone 3-2 in doubleheader games so far this summer, this being the 6th. 1-1. Downstairs with a fastball, 2 balls and a strike. Yet to sweep a doubleheader this summer.
Well, I wouldn't count the Big Train out just yet. If you get a base runner, you get the tying run up.
2-1. Orr chops one softly down the third base line and off the DC Gray dugout. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Roberti, a guy who will make you earn it. Just 2 walks in 10 and a third innings pitch coming into the day. 2-2. Breaking ball upstairs, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And this is exactly what you want. Get Orr on, and now you have Guerrero waiting on deck, who drove in 2 in the first.
3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. The leadoff man is aboard for the Big Train in the top of the 7th. And Jack Guerrero steps to the plate as the tying run.
A heck of a night for him. 2 runs batted in, 2 great defensive plays, but at the very least needs to keep the line moving.
Those 2 runs, the only runs for the Big Train, and they both came back in the first. Guerrero squares to bunt, pulls back, and takes a fastball high, a ball and no strikes. He actually stepped out of the box before that pitch was thrown. And here comes a mound visit from DC. Big Train trying to rally and keep this game alive. There is a right-hander warming in the Grays bullpen.
It's interesting seeing Guerrero show bunt there. We'll see if that's the strategy still.
1-0. Guerrero swings and hits a hot shot right back up the middle, past the dive of the shortstop Larson and into center field for a base hit. His second hit of the day. The tying run stands at first, and there's runners at first and second with nobody out for Dixon Williams.
Yeah, you talk about putting an offense and a team in general on your back, and it looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter here instead.
And it looks like it's Casey Bishop to pinch hit for Dixon Williams.
Casey crucial to that win in Game 1. Had an 0-for until he had that double in the 8th inning, which of course was technically the 10th with extra innings off the 307 sign in left field, and also came in to score on the wild pitch, which was the winning run.
So the Big Train with a chance, with a little bit of life in this top of the 7th. At second is Orr, and first Guerrero. Roberti leans in for the sign. Has one he likes. Bishop squares to bunt, pulls back and watches a fastball zip by, called a strike, 0-1.
I had a feeling this might be why Bishop replaced Dixon Williams. Casey's got a lot of speed, really good in these situations as well.
Big Train trying to bunt the runners over. 0-1, he squares again. He comes up empty on the bunt. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Called for squaring to bunt. Goes as a strike, 0-2.
That ball over his head, and they called it a swing down there at first base, when really he was just ducking down almost at the same time.
0-2. Swings away and goes around on a slider low and outside. It's strike 3, and the strikeout is the first out of the inning. 1 away. So Connor Rasmussen to the plate. One for 2 today, a ground out and a single. First pitch. Takes low and inside with a fastball, a ball and no strikes. One 0. Rasmussen watches a fastball miss outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
That's a close take for Connor. Give some credit to him. Great patience at the plate right now. He knows the stakes, and he doesn't want to be up there swinging at everything. He knows they're down to their last 2 outs.
Runners at first and second, 1 out. 2-0. Rasmussen hits a high fly ball down the right field line into the corner, but it is foul.
Yep, that would have been gone had it been a little to the left. Just too far out in front of it. A 2-0 fastball, he jumped on it just early.
Almost the swing of the night. Instead, it's 2 balls and a strike. 2-1. Rasmussen out in front, chops one foul behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Big Train trailing by 2 in the top of the 7th. 2-2. Rasmussen takes, and it hits him on the knee. And the bases are loaded with 1 out.
It was a breaking ball. It was a slider that came in, hit the knee for Rasmussen. Easily would have been inside for a ball had it not. But here you go, the Big Train never quite out of it, and they're going to send up another guy to the plate.
It's Jason Schiavone, the pinch hitter for Nick DeLisi. Bases loaded, the tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first. And Jake Roberti looking for his command. First pitch to Schiavone, high and tight with a fastball, a ball and no strikes.
One thing that has to be noted here with Schiavone, one of, if not the best right now in the Cal Ripken League when it comes to drawing walks.
Versus a guy who does not issue very many. 1-0. Schiavone checks his swing, but it foul tips right off his bat and into the catcher's glove. A ball and a strike. Long hold by Roberti. 1-1. Schiavone takes a breaking ball, called a strike on the inside corner. They count a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Schiavone put his head down and then looked at the umpire, now just shook his head. Not a fan of that call.
Has to protect. One, two. Schiavone hits a high drive down the left field line, but foul. And out of play. It remains a ball and 2 strikes. Schiavone at the plate. Roberti on the mound. A battle ensuing. 1-2. Schiavone takes a called third strike on the inside corner, and he goes down for out number 2.
And Schiavone, the long walk back. I think he was frustrated with the other call. I think he feels like he maybe was robbed of the at-bat.
So 2 down and the Big Train down to their final out, and it's Zeb Ruddle to the plate. A pinch hitter for John Long, and the hero of Game 1 earlier this afternoon. Had a solo home run in the bottom of the 5th to tie the game. Has the tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first. With the bases loaded and 2 away. The Big Train trailing by 2. First pitch home. Ruddle takes a fastball inside. A ball and no strikes. It's do or die time for the Big Train. 1-0. Ruddle swing and a miss. Had a fastball. It's a ball and a strike. Base hit could tie the game. Extra base hit could give the Big Train the lead. 1-1. Ruddle swing and a miss. Comes up empty on another fastball. Behind in the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Ruddle struggles with that part of the zone, that high and outside fastball, and has come up with nothing on the last 2.
Big Train down to their final strike. Roberti set. The crowd quiet. 1-2. Ruddle swing and a miss. Roberti strikes out the side. And the Grays are able to split the doubleheader against the Big Train, stranding the bases loaded in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, it's a tough one for the Big Train. They continue to struggle in doubleheaders. Had a massive opportunity there and sent up 2 guys who, even though they played in game 1, coming off the bench cold, that's the strategy Sal Colangelo wanted to go with tonight. It is a good strategy. Unfortunately, just for the Big Train, did not work in this situation.
Well, the Big Train had just 1 hit between innings number 2 and 6. They scored their 2 runs in the first and did not score again. Lost 4-2 tonight. Well, it's time, Adam. Who is our Roll-A-Bump Limited player of the game?
Well, I'm going to give it to Jack Guerrero for tonight. He had 2 hits and 2 RBIs, not to mention 2 stellar plays, which the first one, of course, a leaping grab that robbed a base hit, but that last one right there, the double play, that one was a game changer because it allowed the Big Train to have this opportunity here with the bases loaded, even though they couldn't cash in. Had Guerrero not made that play, it would have been a couple of RBIs, and the game would have been blown open.
Well, the Big Train will be back in action on Monday.
Yes, of course, we're in action tomorrow up in Olney.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to mention. On Monday, the Big Train will face, believed to be the Crop Dusters. And it is. The Big Train hosts the Crop Dusters at Shirley Povich Field. 7 p.m. is the first pitch for that one. But the Big Train Baseball Network is proud to be presenting the All-Star Game tomorrow at 5 p.m. Our coverage will start before that, so come check out the best and brightest the Cal Ripken League has to offer. Until then, for Adam Glover, Eli Kleinman, Kaylee Tallman, and Harrison Myers, we say so long from the Nationals Academy in D.C. The Big Train drop game 2, 4-2 to the Grays.